Meeting Queen Elizabeth is a great honor for anyone, but certain requirements must be followed. There's a lot to remember, and everyone has made mistakes, from athletes to superstars to heads of state. In fact, as pop artist Rihanna learned when she overreacted on social media, you don't even need to see Her Majesty in person to insult her. So, put on your best fascinator and fancy gloves as we investigate the shocking instances of Queen Elizabeth being insulted in public. The encounter between Trump and the Queen. The fact that President Donald Trump appeared to have forgotten the entire royal protocol when he met Queen Elizabeth shouldn't come as a surprise, because Trump isn't exactly known for his commitment to, well, any form of politeness. The commander-in-chief allegedly made many mistakes during his meeting with Her Majesty in July 2018, when he kept her waiting for more than 10 minutes, which may not have been his fault, shook her hand instead of bowing, turned his back on her for a few seconds, and he left his jacket open and flapping and his too long tie trailing. Many people have also pointed to television footage of Trump and the 92-year-old Queen getting ready to inspect the scarlet-clad soldiers gathered in the Windsor Castle quadrangle where they met. The tiny monarch wanders from one side to the other behind him as he turns his back on her, goes forward and turns his head away. Additionally, his jacket hangs loosely and untidily. Trump has already received criticism for his improper presidential style choices, such as at his inauguration when his red tie hung below the belt and he forgot to fasten his coat. Anna Wintour's future with the Queen isn't looking so bright. The distinctive large Chanel sunglasses that Anna Wintour, a style icon and long-standing editor-in-chief of Vogue, is known for wearing are well known to everyone who has heard of her. Meeting Queen Elizabeth during London Fashion Week in 2018 was reportedly no exception, and it would be an understatement to say that it ruffled the fans of royal protocol. Speaking with Independent, etiquette expert Grant Harold called the alleged slight unacceptable and the height of bad manners, as well as a serious breach of the protocol. She should have removed them before being in the presence of the Queen, let alone in the discussion. Ms. Wintour should know that to wear sunglasses when talking to another person with no medical reason is unacceptable, he told the Press Association. Fans were also quick to share their opinions on Twitter, with one writing, "Dame Anna Wintour, being a fashion editor, surely you should know wearing sunglasses indoors is so naff, especially being seated next to the Queen." Another asked, "Why does Anna Wintour feel she has to wear her shades in the front row of a fashion show and sat next to the Queen?" Several noted, even the Queen can't make Anna Wintour part with her sunglasses. Meghan Markle's got legs, and she doesn't know how to use them. Markle was criticized for defying royal conventions in the years leading up to her wedding, from her divorce to her and Harry's casual public displays of affection. But during the Queen's Young Leaders Awards in July 2018, it was Her Majesty who was the target of Markle's alleged lack of manners. The NZ Herald reports that Markle's wrongdoing was promptly brought up on social media by her critics. She has her legs crossed wrong. What a disrespect to the Queen. All royal ladies cross at the ankles or put both legs off to the side, one Facebook user wrote. Let's hug it out, Liz. We've already established that it's politely customary to refrain from touching Queen Elizabeth, which makes sense given the potential security risks. However, it's acceptable when Michelle Obama, the First Lady of the United States, is the one making the indecent touching. Wrong. The Guardian reported that Obama gave the Queen a hug at a reception at Buckingham Palace in April 2009, which appeared to make her awkward at first, until she reciprocated by putting her arm around Obama's waist. Ultimately, the British news outlet pointed out several other past touching incidents with other world leaders and decided this was not quite a major diplomatic incident. Rihanna put in some work online. In April 2017, music royalty Rihanna offended the Queen's admirers. She posted a series of Photoshop pictures of the monarch on her Instagram. The pictures were all of Rihanna with the Queen's face pasted on them, with phrases like "be humble" and "you all birds are ash and I'm lotion." Rihanna came under fire for posting these photos. Many people believe she's disrespecting a 91-year-old. One person commented on her photo, "Stop disrespecting the Queen." If you dislike this comment or even block me from saying this, but how could you? The Queen is a very important person in our lives, and it's very disrespectful to just do this. It's all over the news, and I think you're just doing this for attention and to be on the news. Stop, Rihanna. Another simply said, "This is so disrespectful. Do not ask for respect when you don't give any." Princess Diana practically invented disrespecting the Queen. The Queen is said to have been upset by Diana's interactions with the media, particularly her explosive 1995 interview with BBC journalist Martin Bashir. Diana was open and honest about her troubled marriage to Charles during the infamous sit-down, and she also acknowledged that they both had extramarital affairs. How angry did this make the monarchy? Also to be noted is yet another occasion out of the many. When Diana and her husband Prince Charles attended a gala dinner dance at the Southern Cross Hotel in Melbourne, Australia in 1984, they made a fashion faux pas. The heirloom in question was an emerald and Art Deco choker that the Queen Mother had given to Queen Elizabeth. After Elizabeth became the Princess of Wales, she passed it on to Diana. The Queen was less than pleased with Diana's decision to wear it as a headdress rather than a choker when attending a public event. What Diana was wearing while dancing around in her husband's arms was a necklace that was part of the crown jewels that she had been given by Queen Elizabeth herself. Royal commentator Deborah Adanasio told Marie Claire Italia, "It was a piece that the Queen was very fond of, but which she, in turn, decided to pass on to Diana as a wedding gift." According to sources close to the Queen, having seen what Diana had done with it, Her Majesty became very irritated. Unfortunately for President Obama, the band played on. The president put down his note cards and took up his glass as he was wrapping up his speech at a dinner at Buckingham Palace. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand with me and raise your glasses as I propose a toast to Her Majesty the Queen. The gaffe, the band started playing God Save the Queen at this point, but Obama kept talking over it. For the vibrancy of our people's unique bond, and in the words of Shakespeare, to this glorious plot, this earth, this dominion, this England, to the Queen. He laid his glass down when she glanced at him and remained still until the music ended. Everyone then took up their glasses. Oops. Contributing to this was the toast's awkward language and Obama's choice to continue despite obstacles, rather than understanding when to give up. The error became clear when he turned to face his toast recipient. The Queen cast a quick peek at his extended glass before turning to face the remaining verses of the song. Stupid is as George Bush does. According to the BBC, Her Majesty and George first met at the White House in 1991, when his father was president. He allegedly introduced himself as the black sheep of the family and inquired about the existence of such a person within the royal family. George. Years later, King Elizabeth was welcomed to the White House in a speech by then-President George W. Bush. He stated throughout his speech that she'd been on the throne since the 18th century. When he realized his mistake, he spun around and gave her the most George W. Bush move he could muster at that precise moment. A wink. You heard that correctly, he miscalculated Her Royal Highness' age by more than 100 years, and fired her a wink, which he later claimed was received with a look that only a mother could give a child. The seating chart is more important than you think. Let's talk about Formula One champion Lewis Hamilton, who we believe committed the most perplexing infraction against the Queen. What did he do exactly? Hell, man. Bloody hell. He sat on her left. The racer then allegedly dared to speak with Her Majesty as reported by the BBC. No, you speak that way first and I'll speak this way and then I'll come back to you. You see, it's customary for the guest of honor to sit to the right of the Queen, and the convention is that she speaks to this person during the first course of the dinner, then switches attention to the person on her left for the following course. An etiquette expert told the BBC. It truly has become a royal pain to smoke in public. The upscale London restaurant Hakkasan's cigarette-loving customers were getting their fix right below a commemorative plaque designating Queen Elizabeth's birthplace, the Mirror reported in September 2015. When a Scottish councilman saw that the former residence of the Queen had been transformed into a smoking den, he complained to the media and made it his goal to track down who is responsible for it and get it removed. A spokesperson for Hakkasan confirmed that the smoking area was moved away from the plaque to the other side of the front entrance. JFK and Jackie insulted Queen Elizabeth at royal dinner. President John F. Kennedy and his wife Jackie paid a visit to Buckingham Palace in June 1961. The visit, which took place only a few months after Kennedy assumed office, is highlighted in an episode of The Crown's second season on Netflix. The Telegraph reported Cecil Beaton's assertion that Kennedy was unimpressed by the palace furnishings and by the Queen's dress and hairstyle. Gore Vidal claimed that Jackie described the Queen as pretty heavy-going. And well, so did Harry and Meghan Markle. Approximately 89% of respondents to an Express poll asked whether Meghan and Harry's decision to step down as senior royals showed disrespect for the Queen answered in the affirmative. In response to the survey, a user said, "Of course they disrespected the Queen, but in doing so they disrespected the whole nation." Also recently, Prince Harry said in an interview regarding the Queen, "Being with her, it was great. It was just so nice to see her. She's in great form. She's always got a great sense of humor with me and I'm just making sure she's protected and got the right people around her." But Mirror's royal editor Russell Myers believes there's something sinister in this statement, and that the senior royals and palace staff would have had their heads in their hands after finding out that Harry has once more had a media interview in the US to discuss specifics of personal royal affairs. He said, "Prince Harry's comments about ensuring the Queen is protected are deeply damaging and insulting to his grandmother and senior royals around her." Marilyn Monroe's trademark dress. More than others, some visitors test the limits. For instance, the slender beauty turned more heads than her fair share of heads in 1956. Marilyn made an extremely provocative choice by dressing in a low-cut ball gown to meet the Queen. That didn't go too badly though. As Monroe reportedly said, "The Queen is very warm-hearted. She radiates sweetness." Lewis Hamilton to counts in this list. Formula One driver Lewis Hamilton attempted to talk to Queen Elizabeth during the first course of a royal event while seated on her left side, but he was unaware of the protocol. "I got invited to a lunch and sat next to the Queen. I was excited and started to talk to her, but she said, pointing to my left, 'No, you speak that way first and I'll speak this way, and then I'll come back to you,'" he told BBC's Graham Norton. Helen Mirren. Even a genuine dispute may not always be accepted as a sufficient justification. Due to her filming commitments, Helen Mirren had to decline an invitation to Buckingham Palace in 2007, and the news of her denial went viral. The Guardian's headline read, "Mirren, too busy to meet the Queen." She violated numerous royal regulations, one of which was failing to address Prince Philip, the husband of the Queen. David Beckham sent many suspicious emails. Although this well-known soccer player hasn't officially transgressed any royal customs, some have accused him of, to put it bluntly, sucking up to Queen Elizabeth. When David Beckham frequently thanked the royal family on social media, his millions of admirers in the media took notice. Some individuals thought Beckham's Instagram posts praising the Queen, in which he also talked about his participation with royal charities, were a little boastful, and accused the athletes of making an excessive effort to obtain a knighthood from Queen Elizabeth. Additionally, it didn't help that some contentious emails David wrote were leaked. These communications substantiated the knighthood rumors. Angelina Jolie. When Angelina Jolie saw Queen Elizabeth II at Buckingham Palace, it appears that she may have broken a few minor fashion laws, but we doubt the monarch would have cared. According to Racked, Jolie accepted an honorary Dame Grand Cross honor at the palace's 1844 parlor while wearing a lilac jacket and skirt. She did, however, wear peep-toe shoes, which made it highly unlikely that she was donning pantyhose, which were required of both her visitors and the Queen's family. In case you didn't know, wearing nude pantyhose is against the Queen's rigorous dress code for women. Even open-toe shoes are prohibited at the palace's ceremonial occasions. However, defied all these guidelines when she went to Buckingham Palace in 2014. Mickey Rooney couldn't help his emotional instincts. Mickey Rooney has spent his entire life fantasizing about meeting the Queen. In a long life filled with both comedy and drama, the renowned Hollywood actor experienced one amazing royal moment. During her tour of America in 2007, he had a garden party encounter with the Queen. He also couldn't help but kiss her hand. He shouldn't have met Elizabeth II that way. The custom calls for a light handshake. However, the Queen didn't appear to mind the grand gesture made by a guy whose real life was just as colorful as his acting career. The image of him with the Queen still captures the charisma of a man whose characters made him a much-loved presence during 10 decades on the screen. Vladimir Putin made a joke of himself. This one is simply too amusing, I guess. Vladimir Putin is infamous for showing up to events sloppily late. He held the Queen up in 2003 for 14 minutes. In return, Her Majesty arrived 14 minutes late for her subsequent meeting with Putin. Lol. Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga isn't one to hold herself to high standards and won't ever compromise on who she is. While meeting the Queen, the Grammy-winning artist violated royal convention by donning a striking dress and cosmetics. Custom dictates that one should wear business attire in muted colors. I wanted to dress like a queen in British fashion, and I also wanted to do it in my way, Gaga shared. Meghan was married before. Meghan was previously married to Trevor Engelson before she met Harry, but they divorced in 2013. If you watch The Crown, you'll recall that it used to be against the rules for royals to wed divorcees, which is one of the reasons everyone was furious when Edward VIII sought to wed Wallis Simpson. Since then, the family's perspective has evolved. One may as well consider the 2005 wedding of Prince Charles to Camilla Parker Bowles, a divorcee. What are your views on the video? Do you believe whoever the Queen would have minded being disrespected in the ways mentioned in the video? Do you believe the people involved should have cared about being more subtle and respectful towards the 96-year-old Queen? Do let us know your views in the comments section below. If you liked the video, give us a thumbs up and share the video with your friends and family. We keep coming up with such informative and interesting videos over and over again, so make sure you subscribe to our channel. Also, don't forget to press the bell icon below. That way, you'll never miss anything new on the channel. Stay tuned for more. Take care and goodbye.